Welcome back to Real Talk with Harris. I'm your host, Harris Stiller. And today is the second part of the four-part series for the playoff pictures of each NFL division. Today we will be covering the AFC South and the AFC West. Let's start out with the AFC South, consisting of the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jaguars. Over the past decade, every single team in this division has been to the playoffs, indicating that the teams are pretty equal skill-wise. Let's start off with the Colts. Last year, they got a new coach, and they still had Andrew Luck, and they made it to the playoffs. They finally had a complete team until the next year, Andrew Luck decided to retire. And now they're left with the quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, who isn't terrible at quarterback, but he is not a face of the franchise. This season, the reason I think the Colts won't make the playoffs is because they lost a critical weapon, and that was T.Y. Hilton. Also, in the beginning of the season, they were a good team. In fact, they were a team that beat the Chiefs. But later in the season, they can't beat anybody. They lost to the Buccaneers, the Titans, and the Texans straight. Now, moving on to the Texans. This year, I believe the Texans will make the playoffs. They have two key weapons, DeAndre Hopkins and Deshaun Watson. This has led their team to be the best team in the AFC South. And the Titans. Titans had a slow start to their season. In Week 6, they were 2-4. Since making the change to Ryan Tannehill, they have won 6 out of 7 of their games, even taking down the mighty Chiefs. I believe it was a risky decision to take out the Rose Bowl winner Marcus Mariota and put in Ryan Tannehill. But it seems to be working, and they are currently competing with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the number 6 seed. And now for the final team in this division, the Jaguars. A few seasons ago, this team was at their prime with Blake Bortles and many weapons on defense. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship, but unfortunately lost to the Patriots. But that only happened because the stars perfectly aligned for the Jaguars. And now, they don't even have Blake Bortles anymore. And they're last place in their division. Currently, the Jaguars are trying to make a decision whether to start Gardner Minshew or Nick Foles. Nick Foles may have more experience, but Gardner Minshew has seemed to be working for the Jaguars in the past few games, and I don't see any reason for them to switch him out for Nick Foles just like that. But the Jaguars are a new team, and they're going through transition. I do not see them making the playoffs this year. Moving on to the AFC West, which consists of the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders. The AFC West is full of good teams. We're going to start off with the best of them, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. In 2017, many people considered the Chiefs to be in a very good spot, with Alex Smith as their quarterback. They just couldn't seem to get over the hump of the wild cards in the playoffs. So they made the switch to Patrick Mahomes and got rid of the franchise quarterback Alex Smith and traded him to the Redskins. That same year, the Chiefs went to the AFC Championship with weapons like Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Now let's move on to the Chargers. Phillip Rivers has been their quarterback for a long time, but still has no Super Bowl. The Chargers are a good team, but just cannot deal with the other good teams in the AFC. Last year, in the divisional round, they fell to the New England Patriots. Since then, they have been on the hangover of the playoffs. If the Chargers want to be a good team again, they need to work on finishing games. Now let's move on to the Raiders. The Raiders recently made a new coaching decision, which I believe is going to allow them to make the wild cards this season. Since then, they have fallen behind to teams like the Titans and the Steelers for the number 6 seed. I believe maybe in 2 or 3 seasons, we will see the Oakland Raiders in the playoffs. And last but not least, the Broncos. The Broncos have been struggling to find a solid quarterback and are struggling to win games consistently. They aren't a bad team, but with teams like the Chiefs and the Chargers in their division, I don't believe they have a chance at making the playoffs anytime soon. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for part 3 out of 4 of the playoff series. I'm Harris Diller, and you have been watching Real Talk with Harris.